Hi everyone, my name is Miriam Yamaski, and today I'm going to be talking about how does bilingual education work in New York State. So first of all, we're going to go over the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about some background information along with the population of bilingual students. And we're also going to be following with my experience in high school specifically. Next, we'll be talking about dual language and following with some definitions. And the fun part, my fun part, the classrooms, materials, and teachers in a bilingual setting. And we'll be talking about the conclusion and the mission. So a little bit about background information. So in the late 1960s towards the early 1970s was when the bilingual classroom or like bilingual setting was starting to show, and the inspiration and motivation started since then. So some federal policies on bilingual education actually influenced the planning, the development, and the implementation of bilingual education all across New York. The ESEA, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, actually helped students who knew another language than English. For the first time, the Bilingual Education Act allowed the use of students' language, main language, in the school curriculum. Some of the current population of 261,848 students who speak over 200 languages. So the bilingual classroom, bilingual setting, or like the bilingual method itself, it started to show on the 2014, and they started implementing around 2015 school year. This follows with my graduation in Spring Valley High School, is Ramapo Central School District. I graduated in 2016, so during my experience in high school, when I was in 9th grade, teachers were not allowed, or like they were discouraged to speak Spanish most of the times. They would only speak in emergency situations. So I remember my my ELA teacher, who will always push us to like learn English. She will always be worried for us to know English. She it showed her desperation for us to learn English, most importantly. So I always felt like kind of like ashamed of like talking in Spanish, and I get the feeling that trigged me to learn faster the language of English. So during my senior year, I actually did the 11th and 12th grade all in one. So I did both grades in 1 year, so I can graduate in 2016. So during that year, I started noticing that there were more Spanish speaker teachers, and I kind of like caught curious about it. But then I thought that maybe they needed more Spanish teachers for the Spanish class. However, towards the end, just until I was going to graduate, some of my friends actually found out that the students were getting instruction, or like the curriculum that were covered in their home language, in Spanish. So I felt a little bit jealous at that point because I didn't get that. So yep, that was my experience there. That's when I found out about bilingual education. So what is dual language? So a little bit about dual language. So it's an approach to develop language proficiency. Most programs are in Spanish, but recently more languages have been incorporated. Half of the instruction is in the primary language, and the remainder of the instruction is in the target language, the language that they are learning. So one of the examples is the 90% to 10% model. Another one is the 50-50. Students learn to speak, read, and write in 2 languages, but they also get to learn about other cultures and the diverse language skills. So during this time, we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. So in my classroom, for example, I always embrace their cultures. Even though everybody speaks Spanish, that doesn't mean that we have the same culture. We have different traditions. We have different food, even different words. I explained that to my students, and they were all shocked when the word, for example, the word bus means different in Ecuador than in Guatemala or on any other country. I found a video in the New York State Education, NYSED.gov. So it's a bilingual parent orientation video. The first video is in English, but the next video is in Spanish, and then following with other languages. I loved this website because it provides information about the bilingual program, but not only in English. So that means that parents can access to it without any issues, and they can get more familiarized with the program. So a little bit of components of bilingual education. So it's 3 components. One of them is a language arts instruction component, including their home language and the English. The second one is a bilingual content area, including all bilinguals like math, content areas, math, science, social studies, depending on the bilingual education program model and the student's level of English language development. But they must include at least 2 bilingual core content areas like math, science, and social studies. So some definitions here. The NYS slide. Many people don't know what the NYS slide is. I didn't know until I got to figure out how to help my little sister, who's in 6th grade, get the NYS slide test. I was in ESL, and I didn't even know what the NYS slide test was. So that's pretty shocking to me, to be honest. But it's basically the New York State English as a Second Language assessment test. This test is to opt out of the ENL program. So the services that students get, that when they get pulled out from the ENL teacher, if they don't need it anymore, if they don't need that help anymore, they can test out, and they should be good. So the second definition is English as a second language. So English as a second language, ENL, and English language learners are all connected. So English as a second language is basically instruction for English language learners, including the modalities of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. That's how it used to be before, when I was in high school. Now, then it moved to English as a new language, ENL. A program for students that has 2 sections, instruction in English and instruction in the home language. The instructional component of an ENL program was also known as a second language, English as a second language, I'm sorry. So then we have the English language learners, who basically are students who, by reason of foreign birth or ancestry, speak or understand a language other than English, or speak or understand a little or nothing, no English at all. So up here I have 2 definitions: the long-term English language learners and the newcomer. So basically the long-term English language learners are students who are learning English and have received English as a new language instruction. And the newcomer, it's basically brand new students who have been identified as English language learners and have not received English as a new language instruction at all. So Colorín Colorado. So Colorín Colorado is a website that I feel very helpful It's just like the videos in the New York State Education website. Colorín Colorado is a great website for parents, for teachers, students, you name it. It's awesome. It's an awesome website. It has a lot of information that can help us guide our students. It gives us some strategies as well. But I mainly focus on this video. Because of time, I can't show it, so feel free to just look it up at the website, the webcast for Dr. Rebecca Palacios, who offers information in the components of a pre-K ELL program, language instruction, curriculum, professional development, and family outreach. So this is my fun part. Many of us might be wondering how the classrooms looks in the bilingual education and the materials and things like that. So I put up a picture. That's not my classroom. That's not me. So I just put out this picture because this is a great idea to show how it used to be before COVID. So students will get up and then they will sound out the names and things like that, or do other activities. However, I still do that with my kids. So I'll basically ask one of the students just to stand up from their chair to share, or even to say something in either English or Spanish. So that's something that I still incorporate. So I work at East Ramapo Central School District, Limekiln Elementary School. So I'm a 6th grade bilingual teacher. So right now, the classroom and the curriculum is a 50-50. 50% and 50%, as I mentioned before. Some parts of the curriculum is still in progress. Students have been severely impacted with online learning from last year, and that can be seen real quick. Some students want to type instead of writing. There's some pros and cons to that. I want them to write specifically, either in English or in Spanish. Sometimes I'll ask both because I want to embrace both languages. The way I do my curriculum, the way I do my classroom is ELA. I try to make it, most of it in English, so the 90%, 10%. So 90% will be in English, 10% will be in Spanish. So I have some newcomers in my classroom. I have some students who just got here to this country. So for them, I know that it's hard and everything, but however, I always help them. I always guide them. So what I do is I scaffold. I help them construct sentences and things like that. So it is, even though I'm explaining in Spanish, I'm helping them write in English. So that's how I do with my students itself. So it all depends. Like I said, it all depends on the program and the curriculum itself. So math, social studies, and science, I do it in both languages. So some teachers do it one part of the lesson in English and the other part of the lesson in Spanish. So the way I do it is everything that I say in English, I'll repeat it in Spanish, or I'll summarize it in Spanish. So sometimes everything, most of the things that I say in Spanish, I'll summarize it in English, and vice versa. So my students know that we have to use both languages. And bilingual classrooms embraces both languages. I feel like they have to be proud of knowing 2 languages. So pictures of my anchor charts. Only have a little bit of time, so I'm just gonna show you the pictures. As you can see, I have both in English and Spanish. This is the Hispanic Heritage Month. Right, so this is a background for my colleague. She is a 4th grade bilingual teacher, Mrs. Ferreira, and this myself. And this is Mrs. McCool's. This is my partner, 6th grade bilingual. And then we have our mission here. I know because of time I can't really mention it, but here we go. And we have our references. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.